Alright. Okay. Sorry guys. I'm sorry, I probably made you guys wait for a really long time on that waiting screen. A whole 3 minutes plus? Oh my god, I'm so sorry. I was trying to get stuff right, and then VTube Studio just stopped working as well, so I had to like redo that. Ooh. Sorry, no, I was looking at the people who are like live now as well. Oh, cool stuff I see there. But yeah, so hi everyone, I'm Michio Dai, your tokusatsu wannabe hero. No, your wannabe tokusatsu hero. I almost said tokusatsu B hero. I'm like, what? Tokusatsu B? I'm Michio Dai. And if you're watching me, thank you so much. So here I have a new drawing. Well, okay, now it's not new. It's been quite a while. It's been quite a while since you guys seen this art as well. Well, I say a while, it's like what, 2 weeks? 1 week? I don't know. It feels long. But basically I was just lining the rest of this off stream. The previous time you guys saw it was when I was lining it from the sketch. Yeah. So I've drawn the hands, I've drawn some of the hair, not all the hair. So I'm gonna finish off the hair and the scarf, and then we'll do the flats on stream. And Spotify should be alright. Yep, the audio should be okay. Oof. Sweating. I'm sweaty. Because there's also gonna be an announcement. A little tiny announcement. Not... It's huge, but it's tiny in the sense where I'm kind of downplaying it. But yeah. It's nice news. It's nice news for me. And for you guys as well. But I have no idea how... Yeah, I mean... Him. Okay. Oh, you're right. So, hold on. Yeah, I just realized that my head cuts off there. I'm kind of lazy to edit that right now, but what do? You're gonna see my model cutting off when I look over here in this direction. But yeah, sorry to disappoint, but there is no baby. That's right. I said no babies, Soralja. No babies. But you couldn't control it. You just had to come up with a baby. You pregnanted yourself. What a weak lizard. What a weak little man. Sorry, I'm not saying that having a baby is weak or anything. In fact, it's fucking strong, but like... Maybe that's why he had a child. He was just like, huh. I think it's strong to have to be with child. And so he took it up and it's just like, impregnate me, Sphin. Sphin's like, what? Impregnate me. And he's just like, okay, this is what the Lord wants. Do it. And he impregnates him with like a tiny version of himself or something. I don't know. Gulja will learn the rules of nature and how to tap into his inner violent self. That's what we're gonna get in like patch 7.1. God, I mean, I say that, but no, it's gonna be a long one. Whatever arc Gulja is gonna be involved in, it's gonna be his arc, and I have no idea what's gonna happen. I know that their patch art does not have Gulja in it. Maybe it's because they're trying to avoid spoilers? Question mark? Like maybe not yet. Maybe he'll appear in another patch art, that kind of thing. When it's like what 7.3, then he'll appear. But right now it's like Baku Jaja, and I'm like, we're still gonna be on this guy? What else are you gonna? What else is there? I mean, okay. From I was gonna say an unbiased perspective, but I feel like with an unbiased perspective, I still wouldn't like him. Even more so, I wouldn't like him, I don't know. But more of that, like, from maybe a technical standpoint of like like my spider wheel is kind of something caught in between or something. It's kind of nasty to roll around. It's not smooth. But yeah, if like thinking about it, like maybe the thing that could be about Zaraja is like, you know, it's just a follow-up on like, you know, his hometown. I forgot the name of it. I'm not gonna bother trying to remember it and like say it and try to say it out because like, I'm probably gonna scuff it up and say something like Du Meng or something. Dang. Mengdu. Yeah. So I don't want to say that. Like it's probably maybe a follow-up to that, even though I feel like there probably isn't. I don't think there's really a need for that, especially with our involvement. I don't know. Okay, besides Baku Jaja, right? Like, what are we gonna do? Like, what are we gonna do? I don't know. What is there for us? In fact, I kind of forgot how things ended at Dawn Trail now I think about it. I was like, yeah, a trail was dawned and that's that was it. I can't remember. We get pregnant too. You and Thancred, huh? What? Yeah. I mean, if he goes to get milk, he won't leave, right? Cause the story sure made him left, and like made you forget him. It's like, oh yeah, let's try calling him. Oh, but they're probably off to Eorzea already. I'm like, yeah, they did. Yeah. What? I wasn't asking you to speak. I was insulting you. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I was making fun of you. I'm sorry. Okay, I don't think you guys can hear the bus outside, but it's having problems with my hot takes. That's what it is. It feels like I haven't really talked about random stuff like in a long time, because it's just been like monster hunting, ace tourney. So I kind of need to get back into it, need to warm my brain up and stuff. Work was it's getting a little right now. It's a little bit like tough on me, because it's the concept phase and like things just keep being asked and all that kind of thing. And I actually kind of want to talk about it, but not in terms of like, I'm not gonna like, I'm under NDA. I'm not gonna like give anything outright or anything. I'm just gonna say that like what I do as an artist working for a video game company, and what I'm not gonna say what the I'm gonna touch a little bit of what the company does, but it's not to any positive or negative effect or that kind of thing. I just kind of want to like talk about it. And the reason I'm gonna bring that up about is cause I just kind of want to talk a little bit about the industry and like how recent things have happened is like kind of affecting my, like, not affecting me, but it's more like giving me some thoughts and stuff. Not some thoughts to act on, but it's more like, you know, just some perspectives and stuff. Sorry, I'm checking my tablet. Sorry, I'm gonna be like zooming in and out a little bit. I don't know. Do I need to get a new tablet? It's just a slider. I don't care about a slider, but I don't know. Not sponsored, but if a tour box is good, I don't know. Maybe if that fixes the slider problem. Okay. I'm gonna be real slow with this, because I gotta look at my notes and talk as well. So, okay, I think I have yapped quite a bit already. Now I'm just gonna do a pause and talk about the announcement. Yeah. So, as you guys know, like, I have a next milestone for me in terms of my I was gonna say Twitch career, but it's not. Not a career, but more of like my Twitch channel, like milestones, like I mean, right now the one if you scroll down and you see like, oh yeah, the follower count is almost there at 70, which also, yeah, cool. But like, that's not my main goal. That wasn't my main goal. My main goal was to get affiliate. And how I had to do that was like, the toughest part is having an average of like 3 viewers. To me, that's tough. Cause even having one person to watch my stuff is like, I can't imagine it. I can't imagine like anyone watching my stuff. So like, it's really good to have that. And that's the toughest bit. It's good in a way. It's kind of good that that's the toughest bit, because if it's like followers and stuff, that would be pretty slow for me as well. But like, you guys managed to make it like happen. Like, you guys followed me, and I've hit that goal pretty fast, like ahead of like this average 3 viewer thing. So that's really nice. So thank you guys for following me, and thank you guys for watching me. I've been streaming so much, and you guys have been watching and adding to that average viewer count. And so, not beat around the bush anymore, but this is the announcement. I got it. I got the Twitch affiliate. It's been half a year. It's been half a year, and I'm here. I'm here now. Thank you so much, Mins. You have been a great help. You've been a great help. Behind a Michi is a Mins. It's true. She's physically there. Wow. She's a great ass, guys. But don't touch her. Don't touch my ass. All right, it's mine. It's my wife. Get away from her. You see? Yeah, I got Twitch affiliate after making the after the latest Ace Attorney stream. I got the notification for Twitch affiliate. I think no. Actually, it was after the Monster Hunter stream that I got the notification for like Twitch affiliate. Okay, not after even. Sorry. Let me correct myself. It was before, like at the start of the Monster Hunter stream. So it doesn't mean it's Christmas yet. It's almost Christmas, but it doesn't mean it's Christmas. And then they told me, hey, you're a Twitch affiliate. And I'm like, yeah, I think so, because like in the previous stream before the Monster Hunter one, it was the Ace Attorney one. And the Ace Attorney one, actually, there was a lot of people in this, like in the average viewers. And I was just like, alright, I'm probably gonna hit it by then. And then I just waited, and like there was no notification. I was like, alright. And then I started the Mon Han stream. I was just like, well, here you go, affiliate. I'm like, what the fuck? Crazy, but thank you Twitch, for the affiliate. Bless you, Mins. She sneezed. Yeah, what? Oh, I won't. I don't think I will. Yeah, I mean, if they ask what the announcement is, or if like they missed the announcement, then I'll say it again maybe. Usually people do it. No, people sometimes they like stall a little bit, and after they'll like say it. Yeah, people do it at the end of the stream. if there's content to make them like stay here. But like currently with my art content, it's not much, unless you want to hear me yap. I think my yapping content is probably better if they'll keep you guys here. But yeah, it sure kept you guys here long enough to let me become an affiliate. Yeah, so average of 3 viewers, stream on 7 different days, blah, blah, blah. That's easy. Stream for 8 hours, that's totally easy. Reach 50 followers, that was a hustle. And yes, average of 3 viewers. I did it. Yeah. I mean, if anything, I can just leave this down here. Yippee-ki-yay. Alright, okay, let me cut this off a little bit. Okay. I will leave this down here, this burning purple heart. Sayonara Wild Hearts. Alright. Okay. Love that game. Okay. Yeah, so Twitch affiliate. What this opens up to me primarily, like in my priority is or at least in my peripheral vision, sorry, how to phrase this, like the one that's the most interesting to me that affiliates up to that opens up stuff when I'm affiliate now, I can't talk properly, is the subscription and the emotes. I have not set any of that up. I mean, I don't even have any emotes, but even subscription, I haven't set anything up like that. I wanted to settle that another time, maybe over the weekend or something, where I can really like just like look at it and just like look stuff up and like, okay, how does this thing work and all that kind of thing. And question mark ads? I don't really feel like the thing is that I don't really think I don't like ads. I personally I don't like ads, and I feel that ads don't really do, like, I feel like they hinder the growth of a streamer. Like they hinder my growth, like right now. Like say for example, like a new person comes in, right? New person comes in an art stream or something. I get hit with an advert and just like, oh, well, this is a long ass advertisement. Even 30 seconds. 30 seconds is a long ass advertisement. And apparently that was like the minimum time that I could like show an advertisement, like an advertisement length duration. I'm like, what do you guys want me to do? Like give people like a 1 hour like ad break or something? You guys are, I don't know what you guys are on, bro. That's crazy. So I don't think I'm gonna do that, especially because I think, like, yeah, it's going to turn away people for one. Another thing is that I feel like there's not that many eyes on my channel yet for me to warrant like enabling adverts to like make anything out of it. Like, was it Streamlabs or something would like will notify me like, hey, you can do this. For example, like Raid Shadow Legends like sponsor thing, and like you know, if you get this amount of people to like download these, use your code, then you are eligible for like this much money payout, that kind of thing. I'm like, I'm not gonna hit that shit. I don't even. I'm just struggling to get like 3 viewers as average on like my channels on my stream. So like they can tell me that, but like I'm not gonna put in any work for that, because I don't think there is going to be any payout for that. So with advertisements, I don't think that's gonna be. You guys don't have to worry about me putting out any advertisements. If there's any advertisements, please let me know. I will check my settings again and double check them. I'm pretty sure I turned them off. I don't like advertisements. I don't think I should go through that goddamn Panadol advertisement as well. That thing actually gives you headaches. They really should have like a seizure warning with that shit. It's terrible. Actually fucking terrible. Never gonna sponsor that shit. Fuck that. Yeah, so subscribbles and emotes. I have not thought of emotes yet. I think the only thing that I was really thinking of was it's kind of maybe a little bit of a long time coming because most VTubers do it on their debut, but I say most as in like I'm looking at the corporation like VTubers. But and it's also not very necessary, especially like even right now. Same reasoning as the advertising thing is like if there's not many people, then like maybe it's not that worth it. But the way I see it is that I think it's just a nice little thing. And the thing I'm trying to talk about is the like sort of fan names and stuff. So what fan names are, like, to those of you who don't know, like say for example like a corpo VTuber, sorry, like saying corpo is feels so derogatory. Like for example like Ninomai Inanis and her Takodachis. Calliope and her Deadbeats. Kiara with her KFP. Ame with Investigators. Gura with Chumbuts. Reimu Nijisanji for like with the Phantomos. Anna Alouette with Aloe Peeps, that kind of thing. Yeah, so it's like I wouldn't want to say like I thought about it, you know. It's I was thinking like I don't think people really care about it, but I think like it's fine if I have it there as a sort of a fun thing to include you guys in on, you know, say for example like I wouldn't want to be like, oh, you guys are my Takodachis or something. Like I don't want to say like I don't want to make it a thing where I claim you guys as like my fans or that kind of thing, like starting a cult, a tentacult, if you will. But more of like one of the things I like about this idea is that it has community involvement in it. In a way, it's like it's giving you guys sort of like a persona who in a sense like bond with me, like gel together with me in the same universe, even though you're not a VTuber in a sense. Like that you could, like, people like, you know, the VTubers, like they could have just been like, oh yeah, you guys are my fans and that's it, right? But the thing is that they create these mascot characters, and like I think the best example is a recent one with Raura, who is streaming now. And like she has her fans be Chattinis, and how she involves them is that she actually has like, on debut she gave out a template of like, okay, this is you guys go ahead and like draw like how you imagine your persona of like a Chattini would be, like what Chattini would you guys be, that kind of thing. And I feel that's the same way with like say Takodachis in a sense, where, and like Aloe Peeps, where it's like, you know, it's kind of the same thing as VTubing, but in a very small what do you say, in kind of like a very extremely casual sense, where it's giving you a persona like, hey, if you wanna interact with me, you can. If you like, you know, you can say like, oh, you're a Aloe Peep, and you're like, you suddenly you become from like a fan who's like, you don't really break any immersion on that kind of thing, and it's just like all of a sudden you're this like small, cute, squishy thing, and you're like, say if I draw you in illustrations and that kind of thing, then like you are there included in the illustration or in the universe or that kind of thing, and you could say like, hey, that's me, that kind of thing. And like I can address you guys more of like by the fan name that's cute and stuff, and not just like, hey Chad, that kind of thing. Now of course it's Chad, but like you know, I think a cute fan name is important. Okay, not important, but it's like it's really nice to have. It's really nice to have. But I'm gonna think on that first because like it's also it's another step of branding, and that's the other thing I have to think about. Like, you know, with subscriptions, like it doesn't work the same as YouTube subscriptions. The only ones that I know is YouTube subscriptions. But yeah, there's like member perks and whatnot. I don't know. So there's name for these members, and that's what I was thinking of with the fan names. You know, at least to give you a bit of you know, interaction and stuff. And on that note as well, I don't know if I would do something like a Discord group because I feel like there's a lot of responsibility, and I think it will be pretty empty. The only thing I can think of with filling up the Discord group is like having a text channel where I would upload screenshots of points of time when I'm watching like Kamen Rider, and I'm like just reacting to like these points of time where, because I'm not gonna do a watch along with Kamen Rider, you know. I'm watching Kamen Rider, but I'm not doing a watch along of it because I think it wouldn't be very entertaining. But that's the only thing I can think of, which is like, oh yeah, I'll have this like text channel where I'll just upload screenshots of the episode and I'll be type in my reaction to it, like, oh my god, what, this guy did this, what, where, wait, that's such a cool henshin, what the heck, and like that's about it. But I can't think of anything else. Like, it's not like I'm gonna have like, I'm not thinking of like giveaways or commissions or anything on that type yet. I'm still gonna take things like pretty easy, but the avenue is open for me now that I've got affiliate. Yeah, so the easier things for me to like do is just get the subscription up and running, and emotes. But yeah, emotes is like the really big thing to like include branding as well as you know, chat interaction. You know, like some people don't really don't know what to type or that kind of thing, you know, and like that's me too, you know. And sometimes they just want to respond with like a very quick message or that kind of thing, especially if like, yeah, at work, like I've been there, I've been like, you know, I can't type this. Also, like sometimes it's like in very populated chats, it's so much to type. Like, I mean, you type and it's just gone in the waves of like other people typing and commentating on the stream and stuff. So like these emotes like are really good in a sense where it helps people do that. Just convey what they want in just one sticker like that. Like that stupid fucking Cyrek over there. Fucking naughty ass face. Yep, sure conveys that emotion. I want to smack him. Yeah. But yeah, so I need to think of that. I will say, hey Kay. Okay, Kay, since you're here, hey, what do you miss? Well, if you look to the bottom left, I have reached Twitch affiliate. Yay! And it's thanks to you. Yeah, thank you so much for coming to my stream. Thank you so much for watching my streams and like following me and everything. Thank you for being such a great person, you know. Thank you so much, Kay, for being there for us. Thank you. This Twitch affiliate thing means a lot to me, as it should to you. Thank you. Yeah, I was saying about how I will probably not do a Discord channel thing because there's too much responsibility. But the main things that I'm looking at in terms of like Twitch affiliate is the emotes and subscriptions, which I need to set up. Oh, I enjoy the streams. Thank you so much, Kay. Thank you. Thank you for like putting your time aside to like, you know, watch me and like have me on while you're like a raiding or something. I'm really thankful that you find me entertaining. Yeah. Besides that, I was going on about a whole tirade about like fan names and stuff, you know, like how the other VTubers have names for their fans like Takodachis and Chettinis and stuff. But those are corporate VTubers, and I've not really like thought about having something like that until now. With something like Twitch affiliate and having subscriptions and stuff, like including people in having like sort of like being sort of being like special, you know, like if you got the subscription, and I like to consider you as like special and incentivize that. And you know, it like having a fan name is like, I think it's pretty cute to give like you guys like a sort of persona that I can interact with, you know. Oh, okay, thank you. Yeah, thank you for banning that guy, means. Yeah, you guys probably didn't see that guy. It's a lot of bots. Hate the bots. Speaking of bots, like the other thing I mentioned as well was that don't worry, I shouldn't have advertisements enabled. If you guys see advertisements, let me know. I'm not gonna have advertisements enabled because I think they are not worth it. They are going to hamper my growth as a streamer, and it's annoying as frick to you guys. I don't want you guys to have to deal with that. So please let me know if you guys see any adverts on my stream or not, and I'll double check my settings. That's about it. I don't know what is going on with this hair. Maybe I need to turn this off because I don't really know about my hair looking like ribbons and stuff. I always have this trouble with my hair. Not hair, but like my hair in particular. What was it? Fan name, Discord server, subscribers. I think I was, yeah, okay. Talking about fan names, I did have like a few ideas. I've been like stewing on some ideas, like, but I'm not gonna make a decision yet. I'm not gonna make a hasty decision yet. Some people have like time to really think of that, but I didn't really have that much time to think on it. I think I have very bad naming sense. Like, if you can't tell, my name Michioda is pretty. It's pretty cringe. I can't remember if I've told you guys about how I named myself. I did, right? No, I told you. Did I tell them? I'm pretty sure I did. But yeah, it's a name that like no one's gonna get, cause I like put a bit too much thought into it, and just like, yeah, like I'm gonna say like, does it sound like this? And like, nope. And like, I didn't know that was a thing. I was just like, yeah. So that's kind of like a bad name. So I was just like kind of thinking again, like, do I even want to like change my name again? But the thing is that I still want to have this like a little bit of a pun that's like alright, that kind of thing. But I don't want it to be like alright. Like Michi Odai just sounds kind of even more cringe than Odai. Like Odai actually feels, yeah, it's an Ace Attorney name. It's like Odai. I'm like, like it's like all right. I'm like, I want that to be there, but like I also don't. Like it's too on the nose. And also the main thing is I wanted my name to be like, you know, Meteorite, but like I don't think anyone can tell. Christ. But yeah, huh?
He's making fun of me.
She's recalling the time that I was like telling Mince about the name before I debuted it. And she was like the first person I told to, and I was just like, yeah, okay, so do you get it? And she's like, no. I don't. I'm like, yeah. You know, like this is the thing with like, ideas, you know, you gotta pass it by someone first before like, yeah, you need a peer review first, like, you know, because sometimes like people just don't really agree with the same things that you do. And that's one example. Yeah, so I still want the meteorite thing and the alright thing. So I'm probably just gonna keep my name, Michiodai. I think it sounds like good enough already as it is. It's still kind of cringe when it's cringe when I have to explain it, but if I don't explain it, it just sounds like a good alright name. Yeah? It's alright? Yeah? I'm gonna put it as a fucking emote. Alright. Alright. I just kind of realized it, like, did the thought that I have about it was it also linked to like All Might? I don't know, maybe. I mean, cause I had like superheroes in mind and stuff, and like All Might probably popped up in there at some point. I definitely had a Deku kind of like idea that All Might power and stuff. I definitely had something there. Maybe All Might appeared in there. Like, I was like, I need a catchy like name and stuff that's like also inspiring and all that kind of thing. It's like, all right, yeah, All Might, all right, some shit like that. It's cringe. It sounds so terrible now that I'm explaining it out. But yeah, the things that like I think Odai just sounds a lot more normal, especially since I can very easily search up a Japanese actor with that name Odai as their surname. And apparently the actor has acted as one of the Kamen Riders in Kamen Rider Ryuki as well. That's why I was like, you know what, I'm gonna stick with this name. I think it's pretty fucking good. I've not watched that Kamen Rider before. I don't know who this character is, but I'll take it. Kamen Rider reference? Yeah, like how many layers of Kamen Rider reference is my name? Like, yeah. It's like so deep in, no one will ever know. Even only the craziest of Kamen Rider like people know. Like, wait, isn't that name belong to the actor who acted as one of the Kamen Riders in the Kamen Rider the series, the Kamen Rider Ryuki? Dangmu. Yeah. So, I am a big fan. I'm watching Kamen Rider slowly. I still love Kamen Rider, even though I'm not like as well versed in it as some people are. Like, hey, yeah. Sorry, K. Yeah. So following that, I was thinking of a couple of names, but like I think I'm just gonna whittle it down and filter it out to a name just like if there was a fan name, it would sometimes being simple is best, but this one might be a bit too simple that it might lose its branding. It's just Meteorite. Like meteorite, but like light. L-I-T. Like there's meteorites as well, but I feel like that's something that like would get lost because it's not it's just a word. It's not a brand. Like I need to do a spin on it for it to like sound like, and like the other things like I don't know, meteorite. But I don't know if including like my name with yours is like a fan name is like something that's good, because that sounds confusing as well. Like I wouldn't really would lump. I'm like my like the example for that like that works is Pomu and her Pomodachis. Like that works because like her whole brand is like, you're Pomu, I'm Pomu, but I'm not gonna say that like you're Michi, I'm Michi. No, I'm sorry, I'm Michi. The name's taken. I'm Michi. Sorry. And Odai is just an extremely bad name to like try to make a funny gimmick out of. So I don't know, maybe meteorites? I don't know. That's why I need to think on it. But yeah, those are my thoughts. I had a couple others, but I think this was the better one, and if that's indicative of how bad it is, then yes, it is pretty bad. That's why I need to seep and cope and seethe on it. Okay, now it's looking a little bit more like hair. Still, I need to bring out my previous illustration. I always need to bring out my previous illustration when I'm drawing myself. Just reference. Okay. Yeah, like I just like it here when I'm drawing my hair like a lot more natural rather than like having them as like these sharp ribbon spike things. Yeah, so I just gotta get I gotta draw more of myself and get more used to it. In fact, I might just do sketches just so I can properly do this. Okay. Let me mask these out first. Bless you, Minch. Sorry, give me a second. I'll just mask these out. Just a little bit, alright. I'm always changing my hair up. I was thinking also like about changing a little bit small parts of my suit, mainly my gauntlets, because I think there's a little bit like I would make them a little bit better like this. I don't know, it's very slight adjustments here and there, kind of like what I did with like this thing on my back. I still have no idea what's going on. Yeah, so that's some things I was thinking of. To talk about some other things, Monster Hunter Wilds. I'm always gonna talk about Monster Hunter, and Monster Hunter Wilds release is its release date, which is February next year. That's soon. I had no idea. I was gonna think like, oh, maybe summer. I was thinking of like summer, that kind of thing, because I don't know how much it feels like. Maybe they still need to work on a little bit more, but like I guess not really. I guess it was okay to go. I mean, you know what? Yeah, maybe it was okay to go. Like maybe it actually is fine. It's all right. I'm not a good judge of that. So by that time, we would still be in our old place, like our current place. We haven't moved house yet. God, I really want to move house because like holy shit, it would be so much easier for both of us to get back from work and like stream earlier and stuff and like get dinner properly, and I can maybe cook dinner. Blah, blah, blah. It's gonna be so... I probably still can't cook dinner, it's still so late. But maybe Minz can cook dinner. Yeah. Pasta. Salad. 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 Yeah. But yeah, moving to a new place would be like extremely good. I can't wait for us to move to a new place. Okay, let me not think about like my hair is like this first. Okay, my hair is not that long. Okay, my hair is looking really long there. What? Why am I drawing my hair like this? Yeah, so we wouldn't have moved in yet, so I'm gonna have to set up a PS5 like this here and all that. One thing that I've yet to check, and I've heard that like the specs for Monster Hunter Wilds is extremely high, that like even some PC users are worried. So I'm thinking like, we should get that checked out, because I don't know how both our PCs would fare. Like, if your PC can't handle it, then like, do you want to play it on the PS5? But I feel like you wouldn't really like it, because you'd rather play with something like when the screen is kind of close to you, right? So you can take it all in. Like sometimes it's like if the screen is too big, you get a bit more lost, right? Yeah, and especially with Monster Hunter Wilds, like you're gonna get doubly lost in that shit. Yeah, so like it would be kind of yabai for the gaming experience. So unless you upgrade a PC, I don't know. Mine might need upgrading as well. We're gonna need to check that the specs out for that game. I don't think I can make it for my PC, because like my PC is like running out of like space and shit. It's like all the programs on it. I could get rid of some programs on my PC already anyway, actually. Now that I think about it. Because when I work from home, it's not using my PC, my personal PC anymore. Yeah. There has been a lot of announcements for like Monster Hunter Wilds. There's a lot of reveals. They've revealed their new flagship, Archon Vault. It's like Iron Vault. That's right, Aaronville is like confirmed in the game, guys. Come play Monster Hunter Wilds. Aaronville is there. He kind of has bunny ears, but he uses them like whips, and it's attached to his arms, so that maybe they're not ears. And he's actually white, so I'm sorry, I lied to you. Aaronville's not in there. Yeah. But you know who else is in there?
Pongalala. Pongalala's back in the game. Yeah.
And he's here to fart on our faces and give us feces and toss feces at us. Oh my god, this is gonna be one heck of a time. Mince has not fought that before, even though she should have. Maybe not. Honestly, I think maybe you didn't fight it. I don't think you did. Like it's kind of a very limited monster as well. For those of you who don't know, Pongalala is a monkey that first debuted in Monster Hunter 2, and it's literally, you imagine like a orangutan. Why did I say it in such a weird way? Why did I say it in such a weird manner? Orangutan. Yes, that's how you say it, not orangutan. Even though some people say it that way. But how we say it here down in the south, the southeast, is orangutan. Not like how the Westerners would say it. Like imagine an orangutan and with a big hippo belly. Okay, with a big belly and a hippo face, and they have a mohawk, and they fart. Like it's not that wild of an idea, because like, I'm pretty sure like monkeys out in the wild, they do throw shit at things. I'm pretty sure they throw their own shit at things. So like this monkey actually does that as well. Like it does some things that's similar a bit to the Puke. Back then it was one of the first ones that was like, oh, I think maybe it was the first one, that it would eat mushrooms and it would like belch out like fire and stuff. It would like no flamethrower, and like, why the hell does this monkey no flamethrower? Beats me. It ain't no Infernate, but I can do it. Yes, yes, the fire breath comes out from his mouth. I'm pretty sure it didn't come out from his butt, but I had to I had to think about it for a second because it seems very plausible that it could have as well. But I'm pretty sure it didn't have that unless it ate like mala berries or something, which didn't exist at the time. We're gonna eat mala berries, and that's why we got this kind of poop. Yeah, they showed more of the rainforest and like jokes on the people who say like, Monster Hunter Wilds looks so boring, it's only the desert. I'm like, well, stop complaining, you bitches. You know it's always gonna be more than that. Fucking entitled pricks. Get out of my franchise. Besides that, another old monster coming back is Yankuku. And sorry so much for like people were like hoping to like avoid those spoilers. You guys would be really great if you guys managed to avoid spoilers like that. I mean, you guys would be extremely powerful if you guys managed to avoid spoilers like that, because I couldn't. No way in hell. Kongalala and Yankuku, like, congrats on their comeback. Yeah, I'm happy for them. It was so crazy because like the first time we could have guessed that Kongalala was back in the game was like with the dual swords like armor. It was like, wait a minute, the dual swords trailer, that is Kongalala armor, and like people were like, Kongalala's not back, guys, and shit. I'm like, fuck you, he's back. Don't deny it. Non-believer, how dare. Shut your mouth. You didn't play second gen, you don't know the armors and shit. That's a mohawk. I recognize that mohawk anywhere. That's right. Like, there's no way they'd make it such that like, oh, the armor is there and like, oh yeah, you get Kongalala parts from like the shipping person or something like that. Oh, it's like, oh, this is like materials from the old world and stuff. The thing is that they did that in Monster Hunter Generations, I think, or one of the older Monster Hunters, where they had a NPC that would sell you monster materials in set time periods. Like, they would sell you Nagakuga items, but you wouldn't fight Nagakuga in the game, for example. And so I was a bit worried if it was something like that, but there's no way they do that for the armors that they're gonna show off in the trailers, in the gameplay trailers. Like, there's no way they're gonna do that, and they didn't, and I'm really glad they didn't. So he's really back, guys. It brings a tear to my eye. Like, and like Min said, I apparently I flashed the happiest, stupidest smile ever when like Minz told me like, hey, Kongalala's back. And like, she showed me the picture and I just smiled. I was like, I had a premonition. I was like looking at the website the other time and I was just like, oh yeah, here are the monsters in the rainforest, and they only put that big fish guy and the ballerina spider, Lala Ballerina. And that was like, that was it, just 2 monsters in the rainforest. I'm like, that's not just gonna be 2 monsters in the rainforest, man. There's gonna be more. And yeah, I am so happy. Yankuku is in the game. I don't know for what reason. It seems like we're not gonna hunt it. It seems like it's just there. We could probably craft some armor from it, but they're probably not gonna make us hunt it because it seems to be a mount? It seems like the, what was it, the locals of the rainforest, the Wooks? What are they called again? Yucks. No, the Yucks. I think they were just called the Yucks, the YUKs. The Wooklamat, they look like tiny Wooklamats. They may as well be tiny Wooklamats. The Yucks. The Wooklamats, the Yak. What am I saying? It's like Professor Lando with the Moo-Tang shit. The fuck? The Yucks are like these little linians, like these little furry critters that actually like are intelligent, and they seem to have domesticated the Yankukuts in a way or something. I'm not sure. So the Yankoku will probably transport you around the place or something like that. That's just my guess. I'm not so sure about it. I don't think it would replace the Sacred. It would be pretty darn wild if they had like a Sacred like layered armor that literally turns into Yankoku, but like just play Monster Hunter Stories at that point. Just buy Monster Hunter Stories, which is also a game that I have to yet to get back to. I mean, it's RPG. I can get back to it like normally. I'm not really missing anything. The thing that we need to like clear is Monster Hunter World before February. We can do it. We can clear Iceborne. I think with the friends that we have, we'll probably see Endgame before then. What I'm thinking about is like, will I go back to Rise before this? Not from zero like in Rise, but more of like to catch up on like a few things, mainly the story, because I do want to know about Rise's like Monster Hunter Sunbreak story more with the Amatsu that they brought in, because Amatsu is the first, it's not the first Elder Dragon I fought, but it's the first like main Elder Dragon in the installment that I got, that I played. I started on the third game, and Monster Hunter 3rd Portable in Yukumo Village. I'm a Yukumo Village, like, that's my hometown, that's my crib. That's where I grew up. And Amatsu Gatsuchi is from those parts as well. So I've not fought it since then. It has not appeared in any Monster Hunter game since then, and it came back in Monster Hunter Sunbreak, and I did not go back to it. So maybe I will go back to it, especially now that I know how to play more weapons. I do want to go back and have a good feel of Monster Hunter Rise's Sword and Shield, because holy fuck, I think it's really good. Like, I was like looking at the stuff in like Monster Hunter Rise that I missed out with all the what skills, the what bug skills, wire bug skills, the wire bug skills, and I was like, holy shit, there's a counter Shoryuken and it counts as an offensive guard as well. I'm like, holy shit, I need that. Suchoto. I can't see my neck. I need to see my neck. Alright. My neck's somewhere there. Which means that this whole head is extremely far back. No one else, like, wondering like how come my hair is so long?
No, not the hair. Point. Scratch my hand. Scratch your hand.
Oh, what? You wanna turn on the aircon? Oh no, alright. We'll probably sleep with the aircon. Yeah. Yeah.
Yippee!
It's really hot. My thighs are sweating. I'm sorry, TMI. TMI. Sorry about that. What was I on about? Oh right, Rise and stuff. Yeah, with the Y-Box switch skills, and especially like I can try Great Sword there as well. I think I tried to make a Great Sword set, but I didn't know how to play it. Now I can probably try it. Hammer in Sunbreak as well. Hunting? No, I probably won't play Hunting Horn. Lance? I'm gonna go back to Gun Lance as well. Like, I played a lot of Gun Lance and like Charge Blade back then in like Monster Hunter Rise. And I think it'll be nice for me to go back as well, because like I think, you know, like the more I play of World and like I pick up the Gun Lance, I'm like, I miss Blast Dash. I sorely miss Blast Dash. Blast Dash is something that they needed to bring back into Wilds, but they didn't. You know why? because it's too broken. Okay, it's not broken in the sense where like it does like a ton of DPS. It's just like it lets you fly across the freaking map. I don't think they wanted that kind of like craziness in Wilds. Like Wilds is supposedly like more serious tone and like darker, more lore heavy kind of thing. It's like, oh, focus on the ecology and environment. It's like if you see a guy like you shoot out SOS flare and then just you see in the skies, is that wait, what's it? Suddenly forgetting the guy's name. Is that Valstrax streaming across the sky? No, that's Michio Dai with Gunlands. Whew, bam. That'll be me breaking the immersion. So yeah, I wanna go back and, you know, come back to my lovely Gunlands and try out the new sword and shield and stuff. And yeah, things are gonna change. Monster Hunter Wilds gameplay is going to be very different from like both games. Okay, not very different, but like the movesets of certain things are like more, they're gonna change up. So stuff like the Gunlands, like it doesn't have the blast dash anymore where you can rocket forwards, rocket through the sky and that kind of thing. But you can, like, Gunlands is great because in like Monster Hunter Wilds, because like it has a bunch of moves where they are like, it's the same as, it's basically like Charge Blade 2.0. They incorporated the Charge Blade stuff into it. There's guard points with like Gunlances, reloads and all that kind of thing now, which is really freaking good because I love Charge Blade for that. And now Gunlands has it. I'm like, they've made a like the perfect being, the perfect weapon. It's amazing. I'm crying tears of joy. It's amazing. And Longsword as well. Like, you know, Longsword and Rise, it's so much easier than the world's Longsword. Like, no wonder it popped off so hard when it went to Rise, because in World it was pretty good. It was like, it was alright, it's not bad. It's got some new moves compared to a long time ago in the older games. It's like, oh, that's really good. I like it. And then Rise, it went like full anime and shit. I was like, holy crap. Like the gauge system. Now I'm trying to play Longsword in World and it's like, I'm suffering because I'm like, the EI slash does not give you another level of gauge. So like you're like, oh yeah, you're consuming gauge and not getting back any gauge. I'm like, oh man, that sucks. In Rise, it was like, it was only going up. You just counter and counter and counter and you just got all your EI slashes and you just at full and maximum and shit. And I was just like, oh, it was so good in Rise. And like, you know what? That's something I need to redeem myself and show off on stream, you know? When I play Rise and just showing off that off and just like shaking off that rust and doing all those counters and stuff. I should do that. But currently in World, it's a little bit more difficult to do that now. The counter is still good. It's still there. Longsword is still good. There's a lot more emphasis on the Fate Slash. Not Fate Slash. No, it is called the Fate Slash. The Fate Slash into your EI slash thing, whatever it's called, to bump your gauge up. Like there's more emphasis on that, which I'm not that used to. In Rise, it was really a lot more easier to like get your gauges and stuff, and like the wire bug switch skills for like like Longsword was super good as well. Oh my god. Huh. Yep. Whoa. Okay, my hair does look a little bit flat in this one. Maybe I should try to meld it together a little bit. I wrote down in my notes like Monster Hunter Wilds lore, but I think the only lore that we kind of got, it was more than what we got previously. Previously, like, I don't think we really got that much lore on like what the characters were doing there and stuff. But now it's like the Monster Hunter Wilds lore starts off as like, okay, we found this boy like a couple years ago at this border of this forbidden lands. There's like uncharted territory, like supposedly no people were living in there kind of thing. And at this we ventured out on this expedition with a boy, and we're here to, like, you know, sort of like investigate and stuff. And so they tell us more about like who the other characters are, who's Olivia, and like who are we and what are we doing here, that kind of thing. So part of a team that consists of a hunter, a handler, a blacksmith, and a kitty cat, Palico. Yeah. So that's the team. That's what the team comprises of, and there are two teams. There's our team, and then there's Olivia's team. Now that you mention it, I don't think we've seen the blacksmith for Olivia's team, unless we have, but there really wasn't that much emphasis put on them. We have seen the handler, we've seen Olivia, we've seen a Palico. I don't think we've been introduced to the blacksmith yet. Unless Gemma is like... Wait, yeah, unless Gemma is like supposedly supposed to serve both of us. Maybe the blacksmith gets like eaten in like the first tutorial cutscene or something by a monster, and just like, well, that sure sets the tone for this game, doesn't it? That sort of thing. But yeah, more stuff in the trailer that was shown was that like they showed off the flagship, and like, oh, that was like the bane of like that kid's existence, that kind of thing. The kid really wants to revenge on it. But apparently that monster, the flagship monster, is a monster that was thought to be extinct and now is back, that kind of thing. So it's probably the conflict that we have here is, I guess, the boy wants to take revenge on the monster, but the monster at the same time is a species that was long thought to be extinct. So that's interesting, where like we actually have a monster and like we have no orders or like no permission to kill it, you know. We're not given any permission to hunt it. The emphasis where like in Wilds, right, when we see the tutorials, like people been fighting and stuff, it's like when you hit a monster enough times, then the handler like would say permission by the guild granted to hunt this monster, that kind of thing. She would say that every time we hunt the monster. So it's very it's the story is very closely tied, and like gives us a lot more insight into the Monster Hunter sort of like governance and society, that kind of thing. So that's really interesting. I'm really interested. I'm really all in for that. I have no idea how the story will go, and that's good. I'm just looking forward to it. And the thing is that the only thing I'm afraid of now is just seeing more than what I want to. There is a Gamescom coming to Singapore soon. I don't know if Monster Hunter is going to be there, but I might not go play it there. Mainly because I don't really feel like having to queue up for that, especially since it's something that will probably have a demo drop on console and PC eventually. And then I'll play it. We'll both play it on stream. that's when we can like first test it out. Like, okay, how does this run on our PC? How does this run on our console? Is it alright? That kind of thing. Is the PS5 like catching fire? I sure hope not, because we spent a lot of money on that. So yeah, I'll probably wait for that. I don't know if we go down to Gamescom or anything like that. Yeah. What else is there to talk about? There is industry stuff. There is also Kaiju number 8 stuff. Okay, let me try to refresh my memory a little bit on Kaiju number 8, because we actually watched up to episode 6. Was it 6? It felt like the halfway mark or something. I think we watched until episode 6 of Kaiju number 8, and we stopped because I think we didn't really enjoy it that much. Like, just to be blunt, we didn't really enjoy it too much. And because I've talked about it before, but I'm also basically Michi Odai, and is involved in the story with Kaiju and stuff. Like, I've thought about it before, and like the universe and like the setting I'm creating involves Kaiju, and like Michi fights Kaiju and stuff. So I do have that. It has like very strong similarity with the ideas that I have, and kind of that's why I do take it with Kaiju number 8 with like quite some what was the word? The word started with S, but I don't think it was straight. I'm taking it with a lot more scrutiny, I guess. But at the same time, I also was reminding myself not to. I was actually maybe okay with like watching it more. But I said that like episode like 3 or 4 or that kind of thing. Mainly because some characters were alright, but like I think we were kind of like, we didn't really like what was going on with the direction of the main character. It's in a sense where it's kind of funny because I feel like it's kind of like Wook Lamont in a sense where it's like we like the character, but for some awful reason the writers like they write the character in a way where it's very difficult to bear with them. Kind of. Like we want the character to be more than one-dimensional. They want them to be like, you know, have different layers to them, you know, be human and like have a believable personality and stuff. But like the personality that the main character had was just very one-dimensional. Like he's shown his two-dimensional sides before, like more sides of him, but the thing is that the anime really focuses down on like making him out to be an absolute dumbass and like make him do stupid things, and like when he does some things they're like, oh, like they don't give him much chances to show off like his capabilities. Like supposedly he's not great at fighting outside of like his, you know, his persona, his vigilante self, like out of his henshin form and stuff. But he does supposedly have like a lot of experience with kaiju in terms of like when they're dead and like cleaning them up and stuff. Like that's supposed to be the gimmick, and like that was the first thing that like caught Min's attention when it was like, oh, so this is gonna be a story about like a guy who cleans up kaiju and stuff, and like that's gonna be the thing of the show, right? And apparently no, it's just it just comes back to fighting kaiju. And like I was like, okay, let's see where his knowledge takes him. And like we don't really get to see much of the chances that we would see him apply that knowledge and stuff. And like when he does, it's very, the story plays it off as very insignificant like not great. Like it's like, okay, he figured it out. So what? People weren't exactly having too much trouble with them. They were still like brute forcing things and like getting through stuff normally, and like they didn't really need him. And also it's like, okay, so kaiju attacks. Okay, this is gonna be me going into the setting and the problems I had with the setting. So in kaiju number 8, what they don't tell you anything about the setting at all. Zero. There's no exposition at all. So like the only thing we can do is infer upon what they give unto us. So what I can infer is that with the traffic lights having kaiju signs, with the effectiveness of the evacuation, and the having the kaiju task force with a very terrible logo and font style, we can infer that, okay, so in this society, kaijus are a normal thing. It is seen as a very day-to-day kind of occurrence. It's not anything special. People don't freak out about it. In fact, people are very bored about it. It's like maybe pre-Pacific Rim, like before the show, that kind of thing, when they give the exposition. It's like, oh yeah, like we've managed to fight off the kaiju with the giant mechas and stuff, and we've made a franchise of the robots as well. People regard them as heroes and actually have action figures of them and stuff. And like, it's sort of like that. That's what I can infer. But apparently, from what we see, I don't think it's very weird, because they don't seem to have any database on the kaijus for some reason. Like, okay, like they have categories for the kaijus and stuff. They know what kaijus, like, it isn't the first time that certain kaijus appear. The first time a kaiju appears, they'll like number it. So, and like when it's really something to take note of, they'll number it. But they should have a lot of info on like kaijus and stuff, especially how used they are to like dealing with them and stuff. And it just feels like they don't have any of the info, and it just relies on like the protagonist to give certain info, even though it's something where it's like he like, why is it a janitor? Like, he's pretty much like can be seen as a janitor with how the society treats them and stuff, and like no one really cares for them. It's like, apparently he has more info than like military trained personnel on like how to deal with kaiju. Yeah, he has more info than trained personnel on how to deal with fucking kaiju, and it's just, it's so, we have to suspend so much disbelief, because we all know the moment an alien is found to be existed on Earth, that scientists will go all up in that. They would dig in through every organ of the alien, and they will come up with a ton of information, if not a ton of mysteries, in which I don't think a janitor would be able to figure out. If a scientist, a top government scientist, can't figure out some kaiju stuff, I'm pretty sure a janitor would not be able to figure some stuff out. It's kind of bewildering. Like, they have to, it feels very heavy-handed. Like, they have to force you into like thinking that like, oh yeah, it's fine, and like, hey look, the protagonist is doing cool shit. And I'm just like, you make the protagonist do cool shit because apparently everyone else is dumb as shit. Like in fact, I would like, there's so, I think it's kind of bad, because like there's so many examples. I'm not just saying it because like I thought about these things before, like while making this story for Michi up, but it's more like I can allude to like other examples like Boku no Hero Academia, where like villains are kind of a normalcy as well, and like they give the exposition of like this and that. and like what a school means, a hero school means in the society, what does heroes having in the society, how is it impacted, and blah blah blah. Like Boku no Hero Academia like has it very nicely laid out about like what the setting is and stuff, and it gets you really interested and invested in it, and you want to see how this character goes through it, and then you see throughout the story how the villains are rebelling against the society and stuff, and like it's so good. Like you can't really like you feel for the villains sometimes in a sense where it's like you see where like, you know, some of them just like are heroes who have actually like had bad days, that kind of thing, or like they couldn't find themselves a place on society for themselves, that sort of thing. Blah, blah, blah. I can give it so much praise. It's like it's so much better than like Kaiju number 8 in a sense. Like I would even say I was thinking of another thing. I mean I was thinking of another example, but nah, if I forgot it, I forgot it. But basically, yeah, I think a couple of other things besides just the setting is that maybe it is that the setting was established this way that I don't really like maybe the characters behave the way they do, because like apparently like a kaiju flying into your mouth is kind of not really that big of a deal. Being able to turn into a kaiju, not that big of a mystery to ponder about and like seek help for or do any research about it or anything about it. I don't know, or like have any explanation about it, like what they were guys doing and stuff. It's just like time skip. Okay, we're gonna take the hero exam, that kind of thing. I'm like, nah, eh. And then they had another time skip where they okay, like, so the protagonist gets accepted into the military school, no, it's not military force, not school anymore. But he does have to research and do his own studies and stuff to like make sure that, like, you know, he doesn't lose out against the people who are a lot more capable than him. And there was a whole training montage kind of thing, and I was kind of disappointed in a sense where I was hoping the story to go in a way where even though he's someone who is very obviously incapable of fighting kaiju, that he would show how he's knowledgeable and like put his, you know, show off that like he can do something, and that he's a very good team player. He takes care of people, because people there are like literally like a lot of them are like kind of selfish in a sense. Everyone has their own agendas, and like he's over there like helping them and like pushing them higher, pushing them more, and like we see character development where like I was hoping to see character development where the characters would be like, huh, you know what, you're not that much of a bad guy, you know, like even though you might be incapable, I would I feel reassured to have you by my side, watching my back, that kind of thing. I was hoping for that, but I don't think we got any of that. After like a 3-month period or something, like there was like a whole montage and like we skipped all of that. It's just like it doesn't seem like any of the characters are any closer with him. It doesn't look like any of the characters are any closer to him, like he's closer to any of the characters or anything like that. So like the character development fails on that point as well. Yeah, so I don't know, like maybe we're about to like reach a point where it would twist, like there's a twist or something, but at this point it's like we don't really trust the, if you know, if they can't get this first part right, like it doesn't really hook us in anymore. I don't think there's like any more chance that we can give to it, honestly. So we kind of stopped watching Kaiju number 8. I was gonna say that like the only things that were really going for us was some of the other characters, like the side characters. Like I forgot his name, but the bro who was like a tsundere, and that is like Ichikawa? Oh, Ichikawa? Yeah, that guy is such a bro. I think like he's literally so good that it makes me really scared of him. like scared of him in a no okay scared for him in a like that I'm afraid if like the show just like straight up like oh yeah he just dies and then it gives the protagonist a reason to like you know wake the fuck up, do something besides being like acting like a 5-year-old, that kind of thing. Like if they were gonna house on him, I'll be so mad. I would be so mad. Like with how nice he's been treating the protagonist, I was like, you guys, I can see it. You guys are the writer probably has a twinkle in his eyes looking at this character and it's like, oh, yeah, I made this guy really good. The people are like probably like making fanfics about him and the protagonist and fan art stuff. And when they're invested, that's when I kill him. That's when I make a kaiju eat him and then make the protagonist watch him die and be helpless about it. I'm gonna do a berserk. I'm gonna call it. People who are watching the show or like reading the manga can probably like tell me later on or something like, oh yeah, so Ichikawa like dies or something. I'm like, yeah. Oh yeah, I know I asked you about it and like you say he's alive, but I'm just like, just you wait. Just you wait. They make the bros die. Yeah. So he was cool. I think it's just nice to see him and you know, be supportive of the protagonist. That kind of thing is like, I'm just here like, dude, you're too good for the protagonist. I'm sorry, protagonist, but I'm like, your bro is too damn good for you. It's just like, he's so supportive. The other character we like is the twin tail girl, whatever, Shinomiya. Was there someone in Haikyuu named Shinomiya? Were they blonde too? Wait, no, this. I think you're a really tall guy with specs. But I think Tsukishima as well. Yeah. Wait, is he literally called Tsukishima? Like a mountain or something? Tsukishima sounds like a mountain name. Yeah, we think that the twin tail girl is cool because I think she's not really the type of person that I would like. Like, I think I've grown out of that. Like, usually, like, I think when I was younger, I would have liked a character like that on first, like, sight, like when I see them for the first time. But for Ichikawa, like, wait, no, sorry, Tsukihime, what's her name? Shinomiya. I think, like, what made me like her is that, like, so far, she seemed to be the only person who took her job seriously. And like she has an agenda. One thing is to like appease, like sort of like prove to her father that like she's good and powerful and she's a good girl, that kind of thing. But also like she will always state again and again that like I am here to protect the people from the kaiju, and like she is the only character that I've heard said that. No one else on that military defense force has said that. The Mikasa Ackerman of that like that show is like, okay, yokai, alright, yeah, I got it, alright, I'll do the job, okay, job's done, alright, that's it. She doesn't have any agenda to like protect the people, that kind of thing. Like Shinomiya was great in a sense where like she has that, she makes it known that like, you know, I'm not gonna give up because I'm here to protect the people, that kind of thing. I'm just like, you're the protagonist. And that just like the anime just like makes her like a fucking simp for the protagonist and stuff. Like it can't, like the writer like took this character and be like, okay, now We gotta sell the merch to the Kumers, alright? You gotta make this a tsundere, blonde, twin-tail Hime that like is powerful, and like the Kumers will want to see her break apart and like get mind break or something, and like there's probably fanfics about that and shit. And like, yeah. And it's just like people think like, put her in a place and all that. It's like a Kumer bait. Yeah. I see that shit, bro. And I don't think it's cool. I'm like, stop massacring your characters like that. Sorry, I was like shouting in the mic a lot there. I'm sorry. Sorry, what? You said what? Oh. No. Maybe that's why you're sweaty. Oh no. Hey. But yeah, I think those are the qualms I have with Kaiju number 8. I was gonna say that, like, you know, when we were watching it, I was making references back to like Kamen Rider, because to me Kamen Rider was my references when I was making like a story, like Michi story. So I was just kind of like telling Minz that, like, you know, like Kamen Rider is a kids show, or like teenage show, and like I think no, it's a kids show. It's for the kids watch it, and like I think the story in Kamen Rider is like better than this. Like Kaiju number 8 is like out there being like, oh, type in your Netflix pin code because it's R18 and stuff. I'm like, whoa, wait, it's got gore and violence and stuff, and I'm like, Kamen Rider doesn't have that, and they do it better. The story's better. To me, I feel Kamen Rider, I got more enjoyment watching Kamen Rider and like enjoying its story and stuff more than this. So I'm just here like back to it. I'm like, you know what? I'm just continuing to watch my Kamen Rider. I don't need Kaiju number 8. As cool as the premise was and stuff, and as cool as his powers are, it's unfortunate that it's stuck onto that one person. Maybe some people, like, you know, in the future when sorry, what you were saying? Oh yeah. Yeah, we kind of learned later on that, like, you know, apparently the backgrounds in Kaiju number 8's anime is done using AI, so we are not for that. It's kind of disheartening to see like the animation industry in Japan like being so, like, embracing it so like with open arms and stuff. I'm like, it feels like it's something that they really want to ingrain into their stuff, and I'm just like, just remember that, just remember the freaking that one interview clip with like Hayao Miyazaki, and like some people like showing him like how AIs animate a 3D model, and like Hayao Miyazaki was just like, it's horrifying. This is horrifying. You guys like this? Where is the thought into this on account thing? It's just like, it's a disgrace to humanity. Yeah, it's yeah, I'm not gonna go on a whole tirade about like AI art right now, but me and Minz are not fans of that, so that's another reason for us to stop Kaiju number 8. Is like, yep, all right, we're not gonna do that. Yeah, if anything, we'll just read the manga. It's like, you know what, this, yeah, if we want to know a story, we'll read the manga, and that's probably better. What was I gonna say? Okay, yeah, one thing I noticed was that I don't understand the kaiju in Kaiju number 8. I feel like for an anime that like the primary focus is supposed to be on the kaiju, that I don't understand what the kaiju designs are. I don't really get it. And to be fair, like a lot of kaiju designs are kind of wacky. Like they are kind of like, a lot of them are like, there tends to be like Like some famous ones are like stuff that just doesn't really make sense and they just like look cool and stuff. But I think with, say, like kaiju number 8, the first kaiju that appears is like a T-Rex looking monster that's supposed to be like probably a parody of like Godzilla or something like that. It's a very normal looking kaiju, dinosaur looking kaiju, and like, okay. And then the next kaiju we see is something from like the Evil Within, with like, there's like a nightmarish human head with like multiple like human limbs like a spider and it's crawling out, that kind of thing. I'm like, that's not a kaiju. That's a yokai. That's something that you fight in like ghost games, ghost related games. That's not a kaiju. Or like, okay, maybe that is a kaiju, but then what relation does it have with the kaiju that we saw previously that looks like Godzilla? That is a dinosaur looking thing that looks nothing like a kaiju, and I don't think that doesn't look no, the dinosaur looking thing that looks nothing like a yokai. And I'm like, yeah, like what's the theming for your kaijus in this universe? Where do they come from and stuff? They don't have any exposition about that. So in the end, the focus is not really about the kaiju, but rather following this bumbling idiot and seeing how he does things, I guess, how he follows his childhood dreams, pretty much, and be a simp, being an embarrassing old guy, which I do not like to entertain. Yeah. So yeah, the more I watch on, is like, okay, so your focus is not on the kaiju at all, because your kaijus are like, you just take them out from a random generator. They may as well be AI generated kaijus. In fact, maybe they're worse, because I don't see any callbacks or resemblance to any kaijus or anything of like sort of the kaiju universe. Like, say, let me bring up some kaiju examples. Let me bring up kaiju from Ultraman, because I feel like kaijus from Ultraman like tends to be kind of like weird and stuff. Let's see. List of kaiju. There's a very popular one. What was it? Where is it? I'm scrolling through. Oh, there is that one, yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay, maybe I'll show this on screen. I don't think it'll be any issue. So, like, this is a very famous kaiju from the Ultraman series, Baltan, if that's how I pronounce it correctly. And it's very obviously, you can just see like, bro, it's just a guy in a suit. It's just a guy in a suit. I can't be immersed. Oh my god, what you call that a kaiju? What the fuck? And to which I say, like, I think like the setting for Ultraman, like, in a sense, it's lobster hands, yeah. And the things that, yeah, you think like it's like big lobster hands, but like the way you see it is like, it's not crab-like hands. It's just claws. It's just like pincers and stuff. It's very general. He looks like a bug, but at the same time they don't really design him like a bug. It was definitely, there was that reference there, but they have it like design it such that, like, you know, he looks more alien and a little bit, he's extremely like alien-like and kind of thing. And like that's the thing with Ultraman, the kaijus come from space, they are from outer space. This looks like an alien, and they don't have it dressed in like wacky, weird, stupid yokai colors, like kind of thing. They have it just dressed in like, it looks like something from space, you know, like a space rock, kind of like gray, that kind of thing, brownish and all that. It's like simple designs like this, which doesn't really take that much. It's like, I don't know, don't do too much with it, you know. Just know where your kaiju come from, like what the setting is, then you just design it. And like, you kind of design a fight around them regarding it. So like when they designed this kaiju, they were like, oh, thinking of like what kind of a fight would Ultraman have to face when fighting this kaiju with giant pincers, that sort of thing. And like with kaiju number 8, with at least 2 of the kaijus that we've seen, they were just destroyed with brute force. There was no thought. 3 kaijus, 4 kaijus, they were destroyed with no thought whatsoever. They didn't need anything to defeat them at all. The latest one that we stopped off was Mushroom Kaiju, which in a sense, like, I can see the fight around it being interesting, where it's literally a tanky kaiju and it would split off into a Dynasty Warriors style like fight in the smaller like streets, that kind of thing. I can see that, the thought put into that. Mushroom Kaiju is perhaps not too far off. It's not very interesting. A Mushroom Kaiju doesn't feel very interesting to me compared to something like this, which it can be seen as a lobster, but it's not like a red-orange lobster, that kind of thing, you know. It doesn't look very lobsterish. You would still look at it and it's like, that's an alien. You know it's from outer space immediately. And like, yeah, just, I don't know. And apparently, like, even now in the manga, like, people don't know where the kaijus come from. So like, the kaiju are clearly a very afterthought kind of thing, and it's very weird. I don't really care for like what conspiracy theories they're gonna come up with, what kind of excuses they come up with. But yeah, I just have like big qualms with kaiju number 8's kaiju designs and stuff. I don't think they're really interesting or cool. Yep, so I was like, you know what, I'm gonna save the brain space from kaiju number 8 and write my own shit. So it just pushed me into like writing more stuff. And I admit that I am a lot more talk than showing, because I haven't done a lot of art of like kaiju, or like done anything to like really do a proper debut or like show off my setting exposition and stuff. A lot of it has been like me talking on streams, just like now. But yeah, so I will say that, like, yeah, I think I do have some troubles with writing, in a sense where I think a lot of my brainstorming stuff, I've had a bunch of ideas, but a lot of them don't really concern myself, Michi. It doesn't concern myself or the kaijus. The kaijus are kind of obstacles, but I definitely have thought of like, okay, I want this kaiju to be grounded here. I want them to be a creature that has lived on the earth for quite some time. It's adapted, it's evolved to the climate, that kind of thing. That's why it might have looked a bit like something we might recognize and stuff like that. You know, have something to it, like some thought into like what the design of the kaiju are like. So there's a thought of the kaiju, like what the designs would look like. are, but what I have to write off is like what the kaijus actually are, like where do they actually come from and stuff. And bottom line is that they do the kaijus in my universe, they come from space. But anything more than that, I won't say yet. I do have some ideas, but basically that's where I need to I realize I need to flesh out a lot more. And other stuff I need to flesh out a lot more in terms of writing is myself. I think the protagonist, like, writing myself is maybe one of the hardest, even though it should be one of the first things, because it's hard in the sense where it's the main... I'm the main person, you know. I'm writing about myself and what stories I have and kind of thing. And like the things I've been writing a lot about is just like, oh, how I react to certain characters, how I bounce off of them, that kind of thing. But the thing is that what I need to establish first is who I am. I think I don't really have that fleshed out yet. And if like I haven't really fleshed out like, am I a likable character, I could end up making the same mistake as Kaiju number 8, where I keep making them be a bumbling idiot and make it such as like, oh yeah, I'm pretty sure people like this trait about Michi, you know, like maybe Michi is like a bumbling idiot and like remember to take water, toilet, stretch, posture break. Oh my god, you know, maybe I need to do that like bits thing that Minz does as well. Thank you so much, K. You just hit me the Mandragora like debuff, but like in this one it's like a buff. It's like you have all the debuff icons above your HP bar, but it's like water, toilet, stretch, posture, check, break. And save my work. Gosh, thank you so much, K. Sorry, I was like drinking water. Okay, no, I shouldn't say sorry, because like it's good to drink water. Same to you guys. If you, for those of you watching either the VOD or the stream, be sure to remember to save your work if you're working on art as well. Go to the toilet, drink water, posture check. I'm not posture checking myself. I'm gonna stick my gyat out. Yeah, so I think a big thing that I'm missing from my writing is establishing myself and like thinking about how to make myself a likable character. I think maybe that's kind of indicative of like who I am, because like a lot of the times I don't really stand the main character of a lot of shows and stories. Like, I don't stand Harry Potter. That's a weird example, but yeah, I don't stand Harry Potter. I don't... Well, I stand Deku from Boku Waka. I would. I think I like Deku a lot. I like Deku a lot. I actually love Deku. Was there any other... I don't know, but I think usually I find myself liking the side characters a lot more than the main character. And I think a lot of like stories and anime like kind of suffer from that, where their main girl or guy just isn't too great, that kind of thing. Like, or like they're fine, they're okay, but you know, it's not like people love them and that kind of thing. And like, yes, I think I've been focusing a lot on the like creatively. I've been writing the side characters in my story and like how Michi would react to them and stuff, and the situations that she'd find herself in. But I think it's also because like I was like writing the setting and stuff, and I wanted to write out these other side characters who lived in this setting, so that I can get a good grasp of like how the setting is like, does it make sense, that kind of thing, before I wrote Michi. Because how, like, the difficulty about writing myself is that I don't come from the planet Earth. So I'm more of a sponge for which I absorb all this new information about Earth and how humans in this society live, you know, and go about their day to day, and who they are, who are these people, that kind of thing. Like, that's one aspect of Michi, like a very clear aspect of Michi that I want to have. But that, I feel like that's just very basic, like, you know, it's a very basic character to like have, but it shouldn't be something that, like, you know, completely characterizes my personality in a sense. Like, I need to have my own agenda, which I do, but I think I need to, it's very surface level, and I think I need a bit more to it, and a lot more of my personality has to be reflected as well. I think there's just a lot more work I have to do for myself, rather than make me just a blank sponge that will just react to everything and just like accept everything, and just like when I get beat up and just like I was like oh and that kind of thing. I need to make mistakes and like see consequences and like have characterizations, have character arcs, see myself develop and all that kind of thing, blah 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 blah. I will need to write that stuff about myself, and that's some stuff that I'm lacking. But I will be working on it for sure, and I hope that I promise I'll come up with stuff about it, but it's gonna be a long process. Right now I'm just drawing like some other graphic assets for myself, but yeah, lore. I need to work on my lore. Yeah. Yeah, that's sort of my takeaway from Kaiju number 8, is that if people think Kaiju number 8 is better, is good, that is like, I think like the story of Michi Odai and Project Meteorite is gonna blow their socks off. Can't. I'm not gonna be humble about it. I think it's gonna be better than Kaiju number 8. Just you watch. Yeah. What is this? Oh, right. Okay. What else was there to talk about? This 11:29. There's a little bit more to talk about. Half an hour. I can talk about so I can talk about the games industry and my work and stuff. So I think mainly I can talk about my work, but okay. To preface, looking forward to them. Thank you, Kay. Thanks for looking forward to the lore. Thank you. To preface what I'm gonna talk about, I'm not going to go into details and like, you know, dox my company and say what my company does and like divulge like company secrets or that kind of thing. I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna do that. I still want my job. And also, if I talk about anything about that, it's not gonna be negative. I'm gonna be completely neutral about it. In fact, I'm gonna be talking a lot more about sort of like the sort of work that I do, and like gonna admit that like this is me definitely like not really ranting, but like just divulging some of the thoughts that I have. It's just like divulging some thoughts, not really ranting. I'm not angry ranting anything about it. But one thing I'll say is that, okay, so to start off, I work in a new company since earlier in the first quarter, second quarter of like this year, and I'm working for a mobile games company. So the work that I do, I've done mobile games before. I've been doing mobile games since I started in the industry. I've come from a company, and the company shut down recently, and that's why I moved to this new place. I am very thankful that like they accepted me, and that I can continue doing art. You know, I'm very glad. So the thoughts that I had is kind of like, let me think about. I'm just cutting out some of the stuff in my head so I can say it. Okay. Right now we are, like I said before at the start of the stream, the work that I'm doing is like right now is concepting work. I do concept arts and stuff, and it's an important phase because right now what we need to determine is sort of the direction of the game. What kind of game are we trying to make and stuff. We have the freedom to think of all these kind of things. We don't get to, we're not told that like, oh, go make this game and that's it, that kind of thing. We get to think of game proposals. The game designers on like my team get to think up of different games that we kind of reference on and all that kind of thing. They do their research, they get given research and all that kind of thing, and like it's like, oh, okay, this seems to work in the current like mobile game environment. And so it's kind of like making an informed decision on like what game to make, rather than like, oh, what would you guys like to make, which is it's a double-edged sword. It can be good, but it can bite you in the ass as well. If it's something that you might not like, then, well, it's something that you won't like. Then, whatever. I think that's something that's... If it comes down to that, then it's more of a you problem, in a sense where you have to understand that like what you like might not be what people like as well. A game that you might like to play is not what some people like, most people would like to pay for and like spend their time away from like their gacha game to play. You can do that if you are in an... Oh shit. Can you help me ban there? No, alright. Thank you. Thank you, Mins. Mins is the real kaiju like puncher here. She punches those ugly bastards away. Yeah, I'll call them ugly. Yeah, the thing is that like the thoughts of like, oh, I want to make this kind of game, I think you wouldn't belong in a company like mine. You would belong in a company like an indie game company, that kind of thing. Oops, sorry. Bless you, Means. But yeah, so like we have some freedom in making our games, which is really nice, but we have to make informed decisions if we want to make a business out of it. And that's the first thing that I kind of have a thought of, which is that oh, YouTube, hello, all right. My first thought about that is that, you know, it's, to me, I'm treating it as a normal thing because it has become a normal thing. I think like after spending so long in the mobile game industry, and with how terrible the games industry is going, it's extremely important to spend your time and money on a game that has a better chance of having returns and stuff. We can't... It's a lot more difficult to make mistakes in this industry now, because ultimately art and creative stuff takes time, because they are always, for the most part, custom and bespoke in a sense. They come from an expression of like what people like and want, and they are to also entertain people with different likes and priorities and stuff, and everyone's different. That's why I think it's a lot more difficult than, say, working in a soy sauce factory and like making soy sauce for like 1,000 years, like 200-year-old like soy sauce brand, and like they're still going strong because like soy sauce isn't going away. like compared to an industry like that, like we are very volatile. We're in a very volatile industry, and back then people could afford to make a lot more mistakes, because I think the consequences weren't as high. With the state of the game industry now, there is a lot more people who want to work in the creative industry. They want to not really say that like because it's lucrative, but it's a passion. Most of it starts with a passion. For the people who want to find it lucrative, is the people who are the investors. Sorry, the investors, and them wanting to put their money in a place that, in a sense, allegedly avoids tax evasion and stuff, like avoids taxes and stuff by having a lot of money on yourself. So you decide to put the money into somewhere, which is investing. So that's what happened, and we're kind of seeing the results of it now, in a sense where, because game companies, sometimes they get more people, or they expand and they need more people and stuff, and they need more money. Video game companies expanding and expanding. They're branching out, all that kind of thing, and they have to eat more resources to fuel that spending and expansion and stuff. And to do that, they need to get investors on board. And video games are not actually very lucrative, so it's very tough to it's kind of tough to get people to invest in your company doing video games and stuff. And it's kind of that reasoning, that's why investors end up having quite a bunch to say with regards to how a game is run, with what games the studio produces and stuff. So it's kind of okay. Sorry, me saying all this is not saying anything about my company. It's overall the industry, not necessarily my company at all. It has nothing to do with my company. I will say that. It has nothing to do with my company. But yeah, I think what's happening right now is we're seeing the consequences of like investors like having put their money into these like companies, video game companies and stuff, and some of them pull out, and that's why like a company will go bust and stuff, and they have to retrench a bunch of people just to make it like pay off the salary for some other people and all that kind of thing, and it's really bad. it's like we were kind of like, we fell into like, the industry kind of like grabbed the apple from like Satan or something. Like, what was it, the it's like a monkey's paw kind of thing, where like we get one wish and that's to expand and do good stuff, but at the same time we have this responsibility, and like where the devil can very quickly just like take away and pull out things and just leave us to die and all that kind of thing. And like there's no responsibility there. They don't care. All they want is like that they had money in it and now they're cashing out, they're pulling out before they lose more stocks or that kind of thing. And that's the problem. Not all game companies do this. Some game companies that are like still alive today, it's just that they don't have their company up in dealing with like public stocks and stuff. They don't have the company up on like the stock market or anything like that. So they're a lot more control. They're not giving any control to like investors, or if there are, then you know, sometimes I think, what was it? For example, like Larian Studios, the ones who were doing Baldur's Gate 3, they do have investors in, but they have said that like, you know, the investors don't dictate what they do with the game, that kind of thing. They still have full control of the game as reassurance to the players and stuff. Yeah. But yeah, TLDR is just that like money is a lot more scarce now, so making mistakes is a lot more costly, so it's a little bit more difficult for that. And there's always going to be more and more people like getting into the industry, and I don't think there's a... I'm not blaming them. I'm not blaming people for getting into the industry. I feel like a lot of them are following their passion and stuff, and it's kind of like, I feel, if anything, I feel a little bit sad for them coming to this industry, like having studied for like some stuff and like, you know, entering the industry and just seeing like what a shit show it actually is right now. I feel really sad for them. I think if I was that when I joined the industry, I'll be really stressed out. If like generative AI was a thing during the time when I had to go for job interviews and what am I saying? I mean, in this recent company, I actually kind of did like it, like in this recent company, like I did definitely apply while like generative AI was out and about doing the thievery and stuff. So definitely I had that. But like when I was a fresh grad, I think like right now, the thing is that I was a lot more confident doing this recent interview and joining this company because I had stuff like experience from working in a game company before. But before that, like coming from school, I would be really stressed out. Yeah. So this one thing. What else did I want to say? Oh yeah. Okay, one thing is that like, yeah, so sorry, I keep saying the one thing. The one thing. Don't know why. Doesn't even matter how hard I try. Sorry, I'm trying to like cut stuff out from my head once again. Another thought that I had was with regards to the same thing, like how we come out with games and stuff and what I do. So for what I do is like I do in concept art and stuff. And right now it's important because I'm trying to come up with like various art style tests and stuff based on what the market research is. And some of them are questionable if you consider them art. This is not, once again, this is not me talking bad about my company or that kind of thing. It's just purely based on research, and it's just some thoughts to be had. If you don't know, there are these games that are mostly kind of like mini games. They can be seen as mini games, but apparently some of them have monetization to it, where you can buy in-app outfits and stuff. But these games are called IO games. IO, and like I think IO is just a domain. Like I think it stood for like Indian Ocean or something. It used to be some tech. I don't know what the origins are for that, so I'm not gonna give you the rundown for that. But these IO games are basically, they're known to be extremely simple games. Extremely simple games. Like the characters you see are not like me right here. You don't see me. You don't see a human. You don't see a human with a face. In fact, you just see a stick figure, and this stick figure is in their game, and they're doing stuff. They're just doing stuff like running about. Very simple controls. There's hardly any stat upgrades. There's no meta game for the most part, I think, to these games. Most of the in-app purchases and like monetary, like how to get their money from, is like from in-game ads, for example, or buying outfits for the characters in the game, which are stick figures. So they just overlay like Wolverine, a parody of like Wolverine's like outfit on them, that kind of thing. So it's to us gamers, sorry for being kind of loud there, but to us gamers, rise up. To us gamers, I think none of us would really enjoy any of these games. We will play it one time and we would stop right there, and that's it. Like if we were forced to, you know, these are the kind of games that like a 3-year-old would play, that kind of thing. Like there's literally no reason for you, like if you have a mind of your own, like a mind of like, you know, some maturity to it, some maturity and some like you can think of your own agenda, that kind of thing, and like have your own passion and sort of thing. I'm pretty sure you would not sink in even like 30 minutes into these kind of games, or spend any money into these kind of games. And that's the thing. You think like, okay, so who the fuck plays these games? And the thing is that I'm not sure myself. The research that we have is our numbers. They don't have, there's very minimal profile of like who these people are. It's a very general thing where it's like, you know, like some companies put out surveys and like, oh, they say like,
Oh, you sleep. Yeah, go sleep, baby. You go lie in bed? Yeah, you go lie in bed first, baby. You sleep. Thank you, baby, for accompanying. Yeah. Yeah, I sleep soon too. I killed my VTube studio. Shit. Yeah.
right, yeah, Mince going to bed.
Say goodnight to Mince, everybody. Bye.
Me too. Alright.
Say goodbye to Mince. Bye, Mince. Good night, Mince. Here, sleep.
Oh god. Okay, well. Alright. Kay says goodnight, Mince. Time flies. Yeah. I'm gonna end soon, but I'm gonna get this thought off my head. Basically, you think like who plays these games, and I'm not sure who they are, but they determine, the research and stuff determines like what kind of direction we get. And that's the thing with this kind of information that's literally just numbers. I don't feel like sometimes we can't really rely on them on making informed decisions on like how a game is going to be like. Okay, on that note, I should sort of roll a bit. Yeah, okay, go ahead. It's really late. Good luck. The rest of the lineup is looking good so far. Thank you, Kay. I am thinking so. All I've been drawing is the hair. But thank you so much, Kay. Thanks for coming to the stream. Yeah. Catch you later. Catch you next time. Yeah, like I have the thought is that like I'm kind of scrutinizing a little bit on like what constitutes as an informed decision in terms of deciding a game's direction and like what direction a game is going to take, you know. When for example these IO games, they have stuff like 1 million downloads on the app store, that kind of thing, and they look like crap. They don't look like anything. They are so soulless, and apparently like I kind of get it. I have some thoughts on it, you know, in the sense where it's like, you know, if you draw this stick figure, no one's gonna have any issues with it, right? The moment you add eyes, you're like, okay, maybe, but like some people might not like this look. Some people might not like the look of these eyes. Some of them might prefer like these kind of eyes. Some of them might like these kind of eyes, that kind of thing. So there's like everyone is prejudiced, everyone has their biases and stuff. So these things can turn off some people, but having a neutral state, something like this, is something that people just like, okay, they don't really feel too offended by it. Not really offended, but more of like, they won't turn away something like this. It's okay, it's fine, it's a blank slate, that's fine. In fact, IO games have used this to their power, where they have very detailed environments and stuff sometimes, and the characters are so simple that it's very clear. It is a very clear kind of like direction for the game. There's a lot of clarity in the gameplay and stuff, so people don't get confused. It's very easy to tell like what kind of game it is. That's why that kind of like art style actually kind of works in some senses. It's not prejudice, it's a blank slate. The moment you add a character onto it, some people are gonna have some thoughts about it. So there's that. So yeah, the thing about it is that like I can't really make much sense of it from an art standpoint, besides those thoughts that I've mentioned earlier. But okay, hold on. Was I drawing all these sketches on the wrong layer? I was. Alright, give me a second. Yeah. So basically, the mobile industry is kind of tough. It's kind of tough to thrive in. That's all I'll say first. These are the difficulties that we kind of have to like sift through and stuff, and like we can make things work. My company is not such that like we will just go for stick figures and like call it a day, that kind of thing. I think we do take some pride in like the art that we do. So I'm glad for that. I'm really glad for that. But of course that's me working my ass off real hard. It's just kind of stress. That's why I gotta sleep soon too. But yeah, I think that's... Oh shit, okay. That's it. Okay, wait, hold on, I didn't flip. Okay. I think the back of her head looks a little weird. I think the back of the head is a little weird. So I will have to fix that. But I'm just gonna draw the scarf in, and then I'm gonna call it first. I'm just gonna draw the scarf in, line that scarf, save your work. But yeah, those are my thoughts on the industry right now. Just one thing is investments, and like having there's a lot more worry on like the choices that we have to make when making games. You know, we have to be a little bit more smart about it. It takes a lot to impress people nowadays, now that there's so many games out there, and there's so many games taking people's time. I think it's extremely difficult for people, especially in the mobile game market, to take that time away from people to play our game and stuff. So we have to be smart about it, and that's tough. But you know, we adapt. It's part and parcel of the industry. You know, we adapt. We have to adapt. We want to make a living off of our passion. You know, it's just I do hope that the one thing I really hope that is that we, while chasing for, you know, living expenses and money and all that, right, it's completely normal. I just hope that we do not lose sight of why we started making games in the first place. Why do we start making these creative things? Why did we join this industry in the first place? Why did you study to be this creative, that kind of thing? I hope we don't ever lose that, and that to me is important, and that's why I view very strongly against the use of generative AI and even allowing it to still exist even to this time. I don't care about making improvements on it. I only care about people improving themselves. Have more confidence in yourself. You can do much better than AI art. You can do much more better than generative AI. It's not art. We're not gatekeeping. We're just saying that, you know, respect art. It takes a lot of time to make, and that's because it comes from somewhere genuine, and it comes from you. It comes from you, you know. It's your blood, sweat, and tears. It's all blood, sweat, and tears. If your sole reason is just to make money off of it, then just admit that you are, rather than claiming that you are an artist and kind of defouling our names and stuff, and like calling us gatekeepers and all that, you know. I would rather that just say what you are and say that, you know, you need the money or something like that. Yeah. Sorry, I don't know why I keep saying that as if it's directing it to someone, but like there's nobody. But yeah, things are tough, and I hope I get to keep this job, and I hope that I can do good at this job and, like, you know, get better at art and show them, you know, show people what I can do, you know, both at work and here streaming as Michiodai. So I hope you liked what you heard and you liked what you saw. I am going to have to sign off now. God, I'm really proud of this. Okay, I'm not gonna be proud of it once I start rendering it. God, God, it's you know, I need to draw this in. I need to draw it in. It bothers me so much that I can't see this until I shade it, until I render it. Okay. All right. Okay. At least you can see the freaking jawline or something. If not, it just felt like one big fat, like, neck. I didn't like that. Okay. Alright, I'll stop here. So in the end, we didn't get to do flats, but I do have the hair up. I don't know if I still want to add more to the hair. There is this back bump of the hair that I do need to change up a little bit more. This part might need some changes as well, I'm not sure. But I hope you guys enjoyed watching what I have. And now I'm a Twitch affiliate. I can look at a lot more stuff now. I can look at a lot more avenues that I can express my creativity, you know? Like coming up with a damn fan name for you guys. Okay. it's late now, so I gotta go sleep. It's 12 a.m. on where I am. I also need to think of an outro. I was thinking of an outro and stuff, but you know, the things that I'll just say just off script is that take care of yourself. Thank you for coming to the stream. Thank you for watching. Thank you for watching the VOD or whatever. My name is Michiodai. Catch you guys next time. Please be kind to yourself. Please be kind to others. Don't be a dickbag. That's very important. And so long. Michiodai out. Remember, believe in yourselves, okay? Have some confidence. Shine brightly. Bye bye.